It's the weekly feed. Kyle Meredith here with the one and only John Doe. Sir, it's
hey,
good
Kyle.
to see you. How you been?
Same here. Yeah, I'm good.
You got a lot going on. You've always got a lot going on.
Got to keep busy. Have to keep the John Doe Corporation solvent.
I mean, I might bust your chops just a little bit of saying that, you know, it's now been, what, on the third year that we haven't got a solo record. Keeper back in 2011, but it's not like you haven't been busy.
What? 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 I'm trying. You know, I do have a best of coming out this year. And I did some recording with Hal Gelb in Tucson. Hal Gelb of Giant Sand, and Tucson has that great studio, Wave Lab, which Nico Case
Calexico,
and Hal and Iron and Wine did some stuff with Calexico there. It's just got great distance. It's like the desert. Good reverbs and yeah, it's cool.
So this is the stuff for a new album, or this is like other stuff for the best of? Are you doing like the new tracks on the best of or anything like that?
I resisted that.
That's good.
Because there were so many to pick from. I mean, I realized, you know, a few people like the producer Dave Way that I worked with for a long time, and Eddie Vedder were saying, you ought to do a best of, and like, okay. And then with that last Keeper record, I realized I did more solo records than X did studio records.
It's funny when it gets to that point.
Like, whoa, that's, well, all right. I guess maybe it was hard. You know, it's hard to cut it down to like 22 songs when you've got, you know, 100.
That's why they had the deluxe editions now.
Yeah. Well, we actually, for this best of, we started with saying, okay, we're going to do a double vinyl. Double, you know, like gatefold. It's like flashback.
Something really pretty.
Flashback to the 70s. And so the vinyl will have more tracks than the CD.
So it's a scary moment for some artists, putting together that greatest hits. I can hear that. I mean, it's supposed to be celebratory, right? But you hear about those artists that are like, oh, I can't do the greatest hits. We can't do that yet.
No, see, I have no problem with that. I don't have even one hit. You know, it's like the greatest could have been, or what did Joni Mitchell have, like misses?
Yeah, hits and misses.
Hits and misses.
Yeah, I think Peter Gabriel did something the same thing. Although.
Yeah, and this is called This Far.
This Far.
So it's not like a career ender. It's just like, okay, this is up to this point.
Yeah, I always thought it was almost a little bit like superstitious when I would see like new artists after having like 4 records out, they do volume 1 of the greatest hits, and that was almost like you'll never hear from them again. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
If you're 4 albums in, you have a greatest hit, you're never going to hear from them again.
Oh, poor things. But so yeah, I did like 4 or 5 tracks with Hal, and he was producing, and we got some of the musicians from Giant Sand and no, there are no Calexico guys, but yeah. So working on it. And
that's always the thing. You always put together this pretty awesome band that backs you up. The other side is there the girl this time around? I know you kind of go through, and every album has its own female voice that you're paired with.
You know, I'm just going to go for Beyonce.
Why wouldn't you?
No,
it's working for everybody else.
Yeah. I just try to use people that I've kind of fallen in love with, male or female, that I met and worked with. I'm really trying to figure out a song I can get Debbie Harry to sing on.
Oh, that'd be great. Are you touring with Blondie? Did I read that?
X and Blondie did a tour.
Oh, that was it,
in September.
Wow.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
And Debbie Harry is just awesome. So is Chris Stein. And Clem, I mean, they're the 3 originals that are still there.
Yeah.
They're all just totally engaged, and they're working on new songs at sound checks and things like that.
I was thinking that's, you know,
I'm thinking like, I want to do that. Come on, we can do it. X.
I mean, well, that's the thing. You both come from the similar areas, and you know, that's Blondie and yourself, 2 artists that have that history but aren't resting on it. Yeah. Although I wonder that about X sometimes. Like, what is X to you at this point? Is it, you know, is it the way to make money? Is it, you know, because you know the fans want to hear it and you can do it and it's easy? Yeah. Or is there a point where you say, let's do something and let's you know, let's be a relevant band and not just a heritage act?
Well,
with no disrespect, obviously, because I love X's catalog.
No, I dig. That's a hard question, Kyle.
And one that can't be answered.
It could. I don't know if I can answer it diplomatically. I tell you what, is that we do X because People want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do make money. It's sort of like putting an investment in a bank years ago, and now we can reap some dividends from it. So I don't feel bad about that, because there's plenty of people that invest a lot into their art, into a band or whatever, and it goes for a little while, and then it's like, wah,
yeah, right,
and it's out. Nowadays, I think people are, you know, we have a lot of young people that come to the shows, and they want to see something that is a true hybrid, that has some history and has some legacy to it, and we still play hard and play loud and fast, and and it's good. I mean, I wouldn't do it if it was like much less than what it should be.
But you don't have to try too hard with X. I mean, you can just kind of plug and play. No, okay.
No. It's, I mean, it's like anything. If you don't kind of pump yourself up and you know, take it seriously, then people can see that.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah.
Then you can, when you see those performances, and there's like, you're phoning that in, and we take it real seriously.
Which is great to hear.
Yeah, it is. And I think we're talking about re-recording some of the old songs. So maybe that'll be the gateway, because certainly Exene and I've written some songs that could be interpreted by X.
Right.
Her last record had a few of them. They just needed to be speeded up and sung a little harder. And I always have at least 2 or 3 songs on every record that could be X songs.
Songs. That's exciting. It's a cool way of kind of going in. If there's nothing else, like you said, keeps the door open. With what you're working on with the solo thing now, you know, are you finding the themes that are going there? I mean, for you, at this point in your career, you've been doing this, I don't know how many years. I mean,
a lot.
Well over a few at this point. Does the writing ever become easier? Do you say, you know, I kind of know myself and I know what to do? Do you have to look hard for the themes and for the passions in a song? Because there's only so many ways you can write a love song, I imagine.
True.
So.
Well, the last record was the first record that the narrator actually got loved back. Where it was not just a sad part of the love song. And I would say for the last 15 years, there was a lot of sadness. And I finally, you know, just life has a way of working out, and I found a rewarding relationship. And so the last record was much more satisfied and a little happier, and that's harder, actually. It was harder to figure out how to do that and not be soft and not be, you know, weak and still have some edge and power and things like that, things that I look for. And so that, I mean, it's being unhappy is a great source of material, but I'm glad that I'm not going to just be a sad sack.
Well, it's usually a death stab when an artist gets happy, but Keeper was a great record. Like, you kind of figured that out. You figured out how to do it.
Yeah, but, and that's why it's taking a little longer. You know, when I was truly miserable, it was like every 2 years, pow, pow.
Right there it was.
But, yeah, it's better to have a challenge.
Yeah.
And sometime, like, in the mid-'90s, late '90s, I started working from melody more than from lyrics and chord changes, and that was something different. And so you know, I'm looking for some other people to inspire me too.
Yeah. You find any strength in politics these days? And that was always a big thing back on the X days, and it's still in the solo records too. There's a lot of source material out there right now.
Oh my Lord.
There always is.
Yeah, I'm engaged, but it's just on a big picture. It's really hard not to be completely pissed off and just demoralized, because it's big money. It's big money. It's corporate. It's bigger than us. And
how do you beat it? I mean, I'm guessing you don't have a lot of optimism for 2016.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'll do my part, and I don't know how you beat it. You just be a better person, and you change, you know, from within. I mean, luckily there's some ethics in food, and there's some ethics in clothing, or there's becoming, you know, and people are trying to wear clothes that last, rather than just buying them from, you know, Sri Lanka because that house is caving in, literally.
Right.
And same with food. You know, people are thinking about food and where is it grown and how far did it come from, and do you really have to have peaches in the winter? No, you can. They're from Chile and they taste terrible, but yeah. So
you just have to keep talking and hopefully it picks up steam at some of the point. Yeah,
I think so. You know, and that's always been the way. You know, what did the hippies bring us? Wheat bread. you got some pretty decent bread in the supermarket.
Right.
You know, so.
That was kind of it. The other side of that I wanted to get back to, and I mentioned something I pick up with you in a couple personal conversations, is how much it seems like you push for equality in music, and not just because a lot of your duet partners happen to be female, but there seems to be something there that you're trying to make that a little bit of a bigger push to make sure, because there are lots of great artists out there, I guess, that maybe don't get the spotlight. Do you think that's because of their gender, or just because they're being overlooked?
I do. I think all.
I mean, I work in public radio, so maybe I can't see that the same way. You know, St. Vincent's on heavy rotation at WFPK, so it's really not a problem.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, I put her as one of the top 5 living guitarists in the game right now.
Yeah, I'm hoping that would be another goal of mine, is to get her to
John Doe and Annie Clark
play and sing on something. I saw that David Byrne and St. Vincent show.
Yeah. It's incredible.
So good.
Yeah, I checked that out.
So good. It was. As a musician, you walk out of something like that and you go,
what can I offer?
I'll never have dance steps. Oh my God.
I don't think I want to see John Doe dancing like in that sort of way.
Awesome. No.
But the equality thing, yeah. Why do you think that is?
I think there is there's very little equality in every business.
Yeah.
Whether it's movies, music, art world, literary world. I mean, it's just endemic. I'm not depressed by it, but I think that was one of the greatest things that punk rock did. There was, punk rock wasn't just women as window dressing. Women were playing drums and women were playing guitar, and because everyone said, I can do that. Well, sure, I'll give it a shot, whatever. It's really strange because, you know, I saw the Breeders when they did their like 20th anniversary of Last Splash, and I thought, oh, wait a minute, wasn't indie rock at that point pretty even, like men and women, and the Breeders
seemed like
were
that way, yeah.
And then, like, is it still?
Well, then you took a post grunge and all that stuff that took over with the late '90s, and that was very anti-female. It almost seemed like that was barbarian to a point. But I mean, I feel like there's all the innovators in my head right now at the game. I mean, more than half of them I think would be girls.
Yeah.
The St. Vincent's and the Tune Yards and on and on. Even Kathleen Edwards, her last record was great and a huge step for her.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, she's good, and obviously Nico Case is completely blown up. So, yes,
White Flag.
I will continue. Yeah, you know.
Although I don't think they're doing anything right now, but I guess Sleater-Kinney's getting back together. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
20th anniversry tour.
Wow.
They're going to be doing a thing. Maybe we can get it.
Maybe all the Portlandia fans going to see. Like, why are there all these old people? Why are all these young people coming to see us? Yeah, good for them.